Wars. Wars have been happening for thousands of years. World War II was one of the most violent wars of the 20th century, which included the Holocaust that killed more than 6 million Jews. In this video, you will learn what Hitler's motivation was for targeting Jews and how the power of the Nazis shifted throughout the war. It all started after World War I. The Treaty of Versailles was a peace agreement between Germany and the Allied forces. Germany had just lost World War I, so they were forced to sign it. The Germans were very upset about it, especially a man named Adolf Hitler. So how did Hitler rise to power and lead the Nazi Party? Hitler joined the Nazi Party, formerly known as the German Worker Party, the same year it was founded, and then in 1921 he became leader. According to the article The Holocaust Explained, Hitler was unimpressed by its lack of organization and set about transforming the group. He became responsible for recruitment and propaganda and organized larger party meetings and rallies where he would give speeches. By that time, the party had a newspaper, an official flag, and a private army. By 1923, it had grown to 15,000 people. Hitler thought that the Jews were the main reason they lost World War I. At this point, Hitler broke the Treaty of Versailles by building an air force, submarines, and a bigger military. In 1939, Hitler invaded Poland, which was the start of World War II. In April 1940, Hitler invaded Denmark and Norway. Hitler invaded Denmark because he wanted to take the iron for his army. When Germany invaded Norway, they intended to capture their naval bases to use against the British. In a short amount of time, Hitler took over both countries. Next, Hitler invaded France on June 5, 1940. In addition to wanting more land, Hitler invaded France to take revenge for them fighting against Germany during World War I. France was not holding up well during the attack. They were still very weak from World War I, so the fighting only lasted for 4 weeks and Germany won. On May 10, 1940, Hitler invaded Belgium and it only lasted 18 days. Their army surrendered on May 28th. The Allies were involved, but their plan did not work. They got sent back to sea when they tried to circle the Germans. In June, 2 British Channel Islands were getting invaded by Germany. The British did not do anything about it because when their troops were fighting in the Belgium invasion, they'd lost many soldiers. So they decided not to help the islands, which became captured by the Germans. In March, Italy, who was on Germany's side, invaded Greece, but they failed. They tried again in April of 1941. This time they brought Germany to help them, and they won the battle on April 20th. Next, Germany and Italy invaded Yugoslavia. They did it because they wanted more supplies and more men. Yugoslavia was forced to sign a pact which said they were now part of the Axis powers of Germany. In December, Japanese pilots flew to America and bombed Pearl Harbor. Japan declared war on America and Japan was on Germany's side. After the attack, the U.S. joined the war. Next, Hitler attacked the Soviet Union, breaking his peace pact with them. The attack was one of the biggest ones in history. He sent 3.8 million soldiers on the battlefield. Hitler invaded the Soviet Union because he wanted to see Germany expand eastward. The fight ended in May 1945, with the Allies fighting from one side and the Soviets from the other. So Germany lost the battle, leaving them very weak. I interviewed a high school teacher named Miss Thompson, and she said that when the Allies took back France in 1944, it was one of Germany's greatest defeats. In July 1943, Italy was invading Sicily, but since Italy was invading a lot of countries before World War II, their supplies were very low, which caused them to surrender to the Allies. This is why Italy could not help Germany invade the Soviet Union. In August 1945, Hiroshima and Nagasaki were hit with a nuclear bomb by America, and then Japan surrendered to America, so they could not help Germany invade the Soviet Union. With Germany weak, Great Britain and the U.S. fought Germany and won because Hitler committed suicide in his attack. In conclusion, Hitler blamed the Jews for losing the First World War, which which led to many years of awful treatment and the death of over 6 million Jews. And the turning points of the war included when the Allies took back France, when Germany attacked the Soviet Union, when Italy surrendered, and when Japan surrendered. It's important for us to remember the history of World War II so that we could look back at it and remember how much the Jews have suffered.